Usually I see like a red button.
It's recording.
It's- Okay, hi. Hi, Brianna. So nice to, thank you for taking some time to talk with me. You're a local musician who's up and coming. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about your career, what you're doing right now?
Well, I am a country singer-songwriter. I have been at this for about 8 years now, and I've been touring for almost 7.5 of those. My first year was definitely just kind of getting my foot wet, seeing what the world was all about. And now I gig pretty much 3 weekends a month in the summertime and two or so weekends every other weekend in like the off months we call them. So
Mhm.
it's getting busier. This year is definitely different, as everybody knows. So I don't know what this year is going to hold, but it is a learning experience.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you might use social media to advance your career or to get gigs and things like that. How does that factor into your career?
Well, social media is your way to connect with fans and your way to get your name out. So when you're starting, it takes a lot of posting and a lot of tagging and getting people that you know to like the page, to like your posts, to share them. The more people you can get to share your post gets more people involved, the more comments. When you comment back, that shows some engagement, and posts that get engagement tend to be more visible. Um, and it just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that. And once you start to get a consistent viewing base, more people see that because of Facebook's algorithms. I
Mhm.
don't fully understand their algorithms. They are constantly changing, but the more you do something and the more you hit your prime times of Facebook's priority viewing, I guess that you can call it, um, that allows more people to even see it. So if you hit your peak times, which your Facebook's does have that in your insight, if you've actually created a Facebook page itself,
Mhm.
you don't want to use your personal because your personal does not have the same features as a business page.
I see.
And
Do you use anything other than Facebook?
I use Facebook and Instagram, and I use YouTube, and I have about 3 other sites that I use as a website that are my core um, advertising, I guess you would say. I have my own website that I man, and then I have another thing called Reverb Nation, and that is hooked to what powers my website itself. And then you can use another thing called Bands in Town, and that also is where you can post all of your gigs, and that will send notifications out to people that like that kind of music that you
Oh,
do, as to when you have events and if they're in the area that they're in.
I see. Now, so how does social media help you get gigs or help you get jobs in your field?
I'm going to say yes and no, because if you don't have a online presence, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, and a website, if you meet people and you have nothing to give them or no way for them to be able to look you up online and share you easily, then you're not going to get as many gigs. You still might get a few because people think you're really talented, but you have to have something for people to look at your music, your videos, your band posters, even, because people want to see that you're either the image they want or the image you don't want for a venue.
Mhm.
And it all ties together, but a lot of it still is social networking in person.
Perfect. Yeah. So, for someone starting out in music, they're just starting out in their career, what would you recommend? What's a good way to start on social media?
To be honest with you, I'm still new, even though I'm 8 years in.
Uh-huh.
Um, a lot of it is do it right the first time. You create your own page, and it will be linked to your personal page. And you can invite all of your friends, and all of those friends can invite people to like that page. The best suggestion is try not to cross post too much. If you start putting everything on your personal page, on your music page and vice versa, people are only going to start looking at one.
Mm.
And same goes for Instagram. Create a personal Instagram and create a music Instagram. And try not to share everything on your Facebook and your Instagram the same, because people only want to view it once usually.
Okay, great. Any last tips or thoughts to share about this topic?
Well, I guess if you're really looking to get shows and get performances, this is not social media based, but my recommendation is join associations. There are writers associations, there are fairs associations, and there's festival associations. That's where you get to meet everybody and you can talk to them about getting the gigs, learning. They actually have these conferences where they do in-depth presentations of all of these kind of topics. And that's a great start if you're wanting to really get into it. And if you want to do more in social media, find books, find webinars, and just dive in and talk to other people, because everybody's got some other little tip that they've figured out that works for them.
Do you handle all your social media yourself?
For the most part, I do. I've gone through 2 single releases to radio, and for my very first one, I had never done it. I have never done a big single release like that. And so I hired a PR firm that helped write press releases and helped put together a social media campaign that revolved all around specific release dates. And we tied all of the content together to match like the album cover and the theme of the song. And we had other little contests going on. But for the most part, I've done everything else. I do all of my graphic designs, and honestly, that is another big thing. You need to be able to do your own graphics and understand Photoshop and design, because that's where your content comes from, and videos.
Yeah. It's not all just typing, you're actually creating visual content.
Right? Yes. And
video, yeah.
Videos are the same way. You need to be able to do that, edit them. I just have a Mac computer and I do super basic, but I use the iMovies and it works really well for putting together press kits and other videos. But just the little odds and ends, you have to be a little bit of a jack of all trades to be able to run your social media yourself.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Briana. This was super helpful.
You're very welcome.
Into this, isn't it? Well.
Yes, it's a big project to understand it for sure.
Great. Thank you so much and best of luck with your career.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.